So, about a year ago, I went on a spontaneous trip to Puducherry with my brother. Back then, I thought I'll make a travel vlog about this. And then I procrastinated for a whole year to make it. I decided to finally edit it. We reached the airport even before the sun rose. We drowsily collected our tickets and made our way into the airplane. Watching Mumbai from above brighten up by the light was really something else. I listened to some comedy podcasts while my brother slept almost all the way to Chennai. We then roamed for a bit in the Chennai airport while waiting for our cab. We spotted a news team blasting the IPL theme, which I can only assume was to welcome a Chennai Super Kings. After boarding our cab, we tried to communicate with the Tamil only speaking driver to tell him we wanted to halt at the Mahabalipuram temple. So, as per the plan, we went sightseeing first to the Sun Temple. It was a hot and humid day. The Shore Temple has survived the test of time and global warming. It used to be a popular trading port on the banks of the Bay of Bengal. It surprisingly has temples for both Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, meaning that people from both rigid ideologies may have coexisted in this very spot. Research says some parts of the temple are now underwater, the same water the boys seem to be surfing in. Being around a beach, this holy area was seriously windy. You can see I got my Marilyn Monroe moment, especially while filming this video. We then headed towards Arjuna's penance, or the descent of Ganga. It has over 100 sculptures of gods, birds, beasts, and saints. It depicts a scene of Arjun from the Mahabharata and is also believed to be the spot where King Bhagiratha performed penance and prayed to Lord Shiva standing on one leg to let river Ganga descend from the heaven so he could gain salvation for his ancestors. We also saw the strange Krishna's butterball, a 250-ton boulder which stands on a slippery slope on a small base of less than 4 square feet but never rolls down even through earthquakes, cyclones or tsunamis for 1200 years. Now, onward we drive to Puducherry. I think this needs to be addressed. The roads in Tamil Nadu are one of the most smooth, pothole-free roads I have ever been in India, and I have travelled to almost all South Indian states and some North Indian ones. As my brother dozed off yet again, I saw the village areas turning into towns. Just by the way, Club Mahindra Puducherry is a scam. It is located in Tamil Nadu in the outskirts of Puducherry. Regardless, it's way away from the hustle bustle of the city. We were surrounded by greenery and the relaxing chirping of the birds. The rooms were spacious and surprisingly cool considering the walls were made of concrete. We sat down after a long, sweltering day of travel. At around 6 p.m., my brother and I walked down the hotel's shore, the beach the hotel is attached to. With the sun setting behind us and the waves crashing towards us, with a cool breeze, it blew away all of our mental exhaustion. After the rejuvenation at the beach, we left to have dinner. I hogged on all the desserts I could find, ending our first day on a sweet note. We began our next morning with a relatively healthy breakfast to go hire a bike in White Town to make our travel cheaper, easier, and convenient, especially with the parking. And thus begins the exploration of White Town. But first, we had lunch at the PY Cafe. It was a pretty little cafe where we had the best mushroom fettuccine alfredo, and I kid you not, as described by my brother's expressive vocabulary, which was followed by a perfectly sweet mango cheesecake. After a satisfying lunch, we then began exploring White Town. Please excuse the shaky footage as I was trying to not drop my phone on the moving motorbike. What I loved the most about White Town, other than the obviously aesthetically pleasing architecture, was the maintenance of the whole area and the tranquility surrounding it. We then drove to the Sacred Heart Basilica, and I must say, the video does not do justice to the beauty of this place. We sat in silence, taking in the pretty reflections of the tinted glass, the high ceiling, and the overall structure and architecture. We then headed out for a quick snack on Sunset Boulevard at Le Cafe, one of the oldest cafes in Puducherry. We enjoyed a classic cheesecake at the beach and just breathed in the salty air while sipping on some cold coffee. While heading back from a serene day of soul searching, we were met with Mumbai level traffic due to the election results. The next morning, we had a heavy breakfast for the hot day we were about to step in. This day, we rode through the more rural areas to enter Auroville, an experimental township in Villupuram in Tamil Nadu. It's a town where unity is celebrated with spiritual vocation. It's an international town. You don't see a lot of cars in this area. People mostly use cycles or bikes. We saw an abundance of space in organic farming. Overall, this town had a very, and I know I sound silly, very friendly and welcoming energy. Instead of meditation, we decided to spend our time with sound therapy at this place called Sound Garden, where all the instruments were unconventional to say the least. We couldn't get an appointment immediately, so we went to have lunch at Bread and Chocolate, where we had a vegan meal and some interesting conversations with the residents of the town. Now, we weren't allowed to shoot inside of the sound therapy room, but it was one of the best darned experience I've ever had. It felt like a relaxing massage, but for your soul. We then made our way to White Town and explored some more, and then decided to have an early dinner at the smoothie bar. Maybe it was the magic of the sound therapy, but I felt very experimental and ordered something different. A healthy juice named Titan, which had a questionable combination of ingredients. And my brother ordered something chocolate as usual. Both too delicious. My brother got a croissant veg sandwich and I a croque monsieur. Hands down the best meal of the day. We then returned our bike and took a cab back to Club Mahindra, where we watched Welcome on TV and fell asleep peacefully. I tried to wake up early the next morning to watch the sunrise on the beach, a scenic view we are denied on the western side of India, and made my way to the clean, quiet and serene beach. I spent all morning just breathing in the salty air and journaling at the beach, pondering about life, nature, the passage of time, and wondering how this was already my last day here. For the first time, I saw pescatarian dogs in the beach. Then we had a quick breakfast so we could head towards the Pondicherry airport. This is the smallest airport I have ever seen, and the plane we boarded looked so small. It felt like I was on a private jet, but flying economy class somehow. I could see that fan thing from my window. I saw the tires of the plane from my window during the takeoff and the landing. We landed in Hyderabad to get a flight back to Mumbai, one of the only routes by air. There is something truly surreal about watching the clouds from above, and it will never be scary or get old. We landed with okay turbulence and realized our pilot was Sunil Shetty somehow.
We thank you for choosing Air India and look forward to welcoming back again. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Sunil Shetty.
That was the end of a much needed break, a spiritual vacation and a truly good time. I hope I get to go to Pondicherry again and find some new cafes to eat at and try the meditation at the Aurobindo ashram. Heck, if I get to step outside my house to meet my friends at college this year, that would be great. If I get out of this pandemic safely, maybe I'll make another travel vlog, if you can even call it that. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.